talk about something really very important. I know we dealt with the NLC refusing to meet with the federal government yesterday, and we talked about the fact that they are insisting on going on strike. You must have had the business news where Constance read that NLC in River State, the River State chapter, is saying, see, we would go on strike with our colleagues or their colleagues from other states. I was just trying to quote them. All right. But now we want to face the TUC, the Trade Union Congress. They met with the federal government yesterday, Sunday, and they had a productive conversation, according to the reports that we have seen on the various pages of newspaper. They are saying that they have made some demands and they are waiting for the federal government to get back to them. And top on their demand, or their list of demands, is that there should be an increment to the minimum wage. They are also asking, that there should be some tax holidays, that there should be some times that the government would not take tax from the people. Interesting, right? My guest was supposed to come into the studio, but apparently has got some emergency to attend to, so it's going to be you and I having this conversation. Well, once again, welcome on the show. Now, in the past 1 week, since the president made that announcement during his inaugural speech, the most talked about national conversation in the country, and should I even say in the continent, has been the removal of subsidy. Petrol price has gone up, and you and I are feeling the brunt. I mean, if you look outside your window right now, look at the major roads, you would see that the number of vehicles moving are now reduced. All right. A lot of people have decided to park their vehicles and they're using public transportation. Some people have decided to trek long distances so as to make up for, their inability to afford the new transportation prices. NLC is saying, we talked about it, see, I would not come to the negotiating table until you reverse the fuel price to what it was before now. TUC is also saying reverse the pump price to what it was before. But, we would still like you to increase minimum wage. TUC is saying, give us tax holidays. I hear they made other demands, but the ones that are being reported are these ones that I've reeled out for you. Currently, the current minimum wage has not been effected in some states. Let's bring it to River State. There is the argument, Labour and the government, they had the back and the forth, several times, several occasions. I remember the NLC had threatened to go on strike one time, and then Joe Ajero just became, the national chairman, and then he came to River State and he pacified the NLC in River State, and he asked them to be patient. And that's how they averted the strike that was to happen in River State. I don't know if you remember that. The back and the forth was because the River State government, according to Labour, was yet to adjust the salary scheme. So if you're going to pay the lowest level minimum wage, then there should be a consequential adjustment to the other levels, the higher levels, and that was not done according to the argument of Labour. So in many states, or I wouldn't say many, in some states, the minimum wage is yet to come into proper effect. And TUC is already saying, let us increase the minimum wage from, is it 33,000 to, I don't know what they're asking for yet. But whatever it is that they're asking for, when you look at inflation, some of you already know because I like to use it whenever I'm talking about the economy in Nigeria or the economy of Nigeria. The inflation rate in Nigeria is 22.04%. That's what the inflation rate currently is. And I told people, a lot for people who listened to me at the time, I told them that what we need at the time was not an increase to minimum wage, but the proliferation of industries, because the more we produce locally, the cheaper things will become. And that you putting more money into circulation would only worsen the inflation rate. But people did not listen to me. And guess what? At the time when they were discussing the current minimum wage, inflation was around the region of 11-12%. 11-12%. Ever since they increased the minimum wage, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but ever since they increased the minimum wage, inflation has continually increased. And now 22.04%. With all the things happening right now, the removal of subsidy, the attempt to unify foreign exchange rates, inflation might get up to, my estimation, maybe even 30%. And then I'm saying, in such a situation, do you now want to increase salaries, or do you now want to increase the minimum wage? It could work that they give you money and so you don't get to really feel the effect of the prices of, food commodities in the marketplace. But then what does it do to the economy? It causes inflation. And things will continue to rise. So your basin of Gary would become more expensive. That's my own theory, by the way. And that's why I'm asking the question. Should it be about increasing minimum wage? Government is saying, oh, we're not making enough money. Our revenue is not enough. And even the one that we make, we use about 80 to 90% of it to service our debts. That's according to the former finance minister. We use almost all of it to service our debts, and we are left with almost nothing. And that's the reason why we go a borrowing, right? And taxing our citizens is one major way of getting revenue. Once again, let's come to River State. What's the thing you think that is so productive in River State that gives River State the status of number 3 when it comes to internally generated revenue? I can dare say one major source of revenue for River State is taxation. So if we now decide to give tax holidays, is that not also going to worsen the revenue that the federal government is so much looking for? And if you say you're removing subsidy so that you can have enough money to go about building industries and building things and improving productivity locally, will that not be defeated when you use that same money to increase minimum wage for workers? I'm just thinking out loud. And that's where you come in. You can't give me your opinion on what I'm talking about. I'm not saying my opinion is cast in stone. I'm saying that, hey, this is how I see it. This is how I perceive it. TUC has made these demands, but could it not be, could it not have negative effects? Because once upon a time, Labour asked for an increase in minimum wage, and I told them that an increase would be of no effect because inflation would also rise. So like we discussed last week Friday, what should actually be the demand? What should be the demand of Labour? Whether TUC, whether NLC, any other Labour union that we know, what should be the demand? By the way, it's not everybody, good one, it's not everybody who has got a job in the office or in an office where you get to be paid the minimum wage, right? For some people, they are entrepreneurs. For some people, they are jobless. Remember, the unemployment rate is somewhere around the region of 37%, I think, estimated 37%, around that, and it is predicted to rise to 43% thereabout in this year 2023 and 47% thereabout in 2024. So when you look at it, not everybody is going to enjoy the minimum wage. So what should we be asking for? What should we be demanding? I had the team representing the federal government say, they're looking at the, how practical the demands of TUC are. And I'm asking on the show, is it something you think the federal government should do? Increase minimum wage and, reduce the effects of the subsidy removal? Is it commensurate with what you're feeling right now? Because some of you cannot pay your transport fares. Some of you cannot move from point A to point B. Some of you, your children are stuck. Some of you, prices of food commodities that you usually could afford, you can no longer afford it. And so the question is, will increasing minimum wage solve that problem for you? Will it? Are these demands commensurate with the impacts that you're feeling, the impact of subsidy removal that you're currently feeling? 081 WhatsApp messages, you go to the number 0809 030 6416. We're also live on Facebook. You could drop a comment therein, and on Twitter as well as on YouTube. Nigerian 2PH is the handle. And once again, increasing minimum wage, is it the way to go? Or do you think maybe they should have just insisted on the removal, or rather the reversal of the pump price to what it was before? Because I'm thinking, if the value of the naira will continue to depreciate as the inflation goes up, my goodness. I do not know if increasing minimum wage is the way to go. But there is a commercial break coming up in a jiffy. After the commercial break, I will take your calls, I'll read your messages, and we will have a very robust conversation. Remember, the question is, the demands by the TUC, is it commensurate with the impact of the subsidy removal you currently are feeling, you currently affect? I'm going to break at the calls.
90.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, 28 minutes going to pass the hour. I will take your calls now. Tell me what you think. The demands by TUC, is it commensurate with what you currently are feeling as a result of the subsidy removal? If you're just joining us, that's what we're talking about. And you can also join the conversation. I'm Kalada Korubatibo and you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. 0817-923-0002 is the number. 0817-923-0003 is the order number. Once again, I call them 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. You can send your messages to WhatsApp or the text message portal. Use this number 0809-030-6416. We're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH, and we're also active on Twitter and on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH as well. And let's get the conversation started. All right. I've got Muriel, and she's calling me from Okrika. Let's hear Muriel now. Hello, Muriel. Hello. Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. Good
evening.
Good evening.
You see, Canada, what labor is demanding, to me, I don't really care about those things. What labor would have demanded to me is local, number one, food, education, and transport. Now, food. Canada, why is our local food so difficult, so expensive? If the government can subsidize our local food, it will go a long way. At least if you go around, everybody, the rich, the middle class, and the poor, can be able to buy food cheap.
Muriel, are you still
fertilizers to farmers? They should do all they can to make sure. Canada, the cost of Gary, of Gary in the market is now 1,500 naira.
Muriel, can you hear me?
Not to 1.8, but a room of Koro market where things are cheap is 1.5.
Okay.
Canada, they should reduce. And if there's a way the Ministry of Agriculture can give out maybe super yam, cassava, they should be giving this out free to farmers, to farm, so that way the farmers can install sell it cheap because they are not buying these things that they are using to plant. And to Canada, education. I think they should remove tuition fee in our tertiary, secondary, and primary education. If they say education is free, it should be free.
All right,
dude. Tuition fee will go a long way to cushion the effect. And transport should be subsidized. If there's a way they can do it.
Muriel, can you hear me?
Thank you, Kalada.
Can you hear me, Muriel?
I can hear you, Kalada.
I've been trying to ask you one simple question. You're asking them to subsidize this and that, but they just remove subsidy. Will that not be the same thing? If they should subsidize food, subsidize transportation. Can you hear me? Oh, the connection is poor. I've got Daniel calling from Omudioka. Daniel.
Yes.
Welcome. Quickly, what's your take?
I really want to comment on your program.
I'm listening.
One of the demands of the
TUC
or labor union is that it should increase minimum wage. And you ask the question if minimum wage will really help the workers in Nigeria too. For me, I say yes, because it's been long that they are supposed to increase the welfare.
Hello, are you there?
Especially in Rivers State.
Okay.
Even till now, we've not started enjoying the last minimum wage. So you can see that in Rivers State, workers are suffering so much, the civil servants. So they should add and let me see if maybe the new governor will be able to implement.
All right then. All right.
The new one that the government will agree with the labor.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. I've missed that one. Please do call back. Now, you would also remember that I think it was on Friday. Yeah, I think it was on Friday. The president, speaking, said he would work with the governors to see how they can increase the minimum wage. So I think that's something the president is already tinkering on. Is already something that the government is playing with, and maybe they would want to do it. But the question is it going to reduce the burden of the negative impacts, the burden of the removal of fuel subsidy? I'd like to hear from you. All right, keep your calls coming in, 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. This one says, I think this Labour is not very smart. They should ask that regardless of the subsidy, minimum wage should be 90,000. If government like, let them remove it. If they like, let them not. Coming to say they should not remove subsidy does not make sense. All right. This one says, good evening, bro. The way to solve is to go back to the initial price, put our refineries to work, and issue licenses to people to import petroleum products. Completely deregulation. Market forces will adjust it reasonably. Okay. All right. This one says TUC is very selfish. How many are they comparing the? Okay. I'm finding it difficult to read this message. Let's take this call. I'll come back to it. I've got Ahmed calling from Rukpoku. Good afternoon or good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, very interesting topic.
Okay.
Please, my contribution is this. For what the Labour Congress are demanding for, I don't see how it affects the majority of Nigerians. Like you mentioned, the unemployed. You understand? They are increasing their minimum wage. It has nothing to do with the ordinary Nigerians.
Okay.
For me, I believe that what they are fighting for, they are only fighting for their own personal thing. Because when you look at the whole thing, the same Labour, they are the people who are causing the atrocity in the oil and gas industry. People bribe their way to go to loading points, and within 3 months, the person become a millionaire or billionaire because of the atrocity they took there. So the same Labour people in the civil service, they keep renewing their age every year so that unemployed youths will not get their positions. So they have done more damage to the DC. We are only here just to complain about government. And nobody is focusing on the atrocity that these labor sectors are doing to the society. For me, federal government should just ignore them and see how to raise palliative for the ordinary Nigerians.
So Ahmed, what kind of palliative are you then talking about? If you say the current one is not enough.
For instance, if the president meets with the governors, they can raise transports.
Okay.
It has states, it has local governments within the city. Then they sponsor all these buses, all the transports, and bring the cost down for the ordinary Nigerians.
All right.
Then you talk of food and the other. There's a way they can subsidize. You remember the time of Idiabo and those times when they have this way of distributing rice and this thing for warehouse direct to the people. So you can go back to such a system. So for me, Labour Congress, whatever they call them, they are not fighting for the common Nigerians. For me, they are losers as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Thank you very much, Ahmed.
If we can mobilize the Nigeria, unemployed Nigeria, to take them out of the society, if they go on that side.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmed.
Nigerians will come out and tackle them.
Ahmed, we are not fighting. I've got Bon from Port Harcourt. Bon, good evening to you. Let's hear you then.
Okay, you asked the question and I'll give you the answers.
All right, let's hear you then.
First and foremost, government has to take care of corruption in the industry.
Is that the palliative? I mean,
they keep telling us subsidy. At the end of the day, what is going to happen is this whole thing will move from subsidy to another funnel from where the money will be going. So government should look into the accounts and block the loopholes. That is one. Secondly, the same corruption that is making it difficult for our refineries to work should also be addressed.
Okay.
If that is addressed, then whatever minimum wage government agrees with TUC or NLC will now make sense.
All right.
If corruption is not addressed, I can tell you that this minimum wage discussed will only be a mirage. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your time. I've got Obed from GRA. Obed, good evening to you.
Good evening, Canada.
All right, welcome. Let's hear you.
Canada, I am surprised that TUC went there to negotiate for salary increase instead of them to negotiate on how to for federal government to fix refineries. Look, people are talking of palliative. We know how palliative, what palliative is all about in this country. Palliative is all about the rich putting a particular whatever they have for the people. They keep it one side. You understand?
Yeah.
It can never get to the people. So when people are talking palliative, somebody was just lying. I was laughing. Which government are you? Is this government outside Nigeria that you are telling us?
But Obed, this is a new government. This is a new administration dispensation. So there is the possibility that the government might act differently.
Canada, what is the possibility? Is it not the same man that is the leader of APC? The government that just finished that is the past administration. Is it not the same person? Is it not the same system of life? Is it not the Somali? The same people. So what are the people expecting? I don't know how Nigeria will forget vividly the antecedents of government. Do you understand? At least over the year we have known the character of the people in power. You get nothing.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
That is why I am in support of the labor. They must first of all fix refinery. Nobody is against fixing refinery, Canada. Nobody.
All right.
But fix the refinery before you remove subsidy.
Okay.
To reduce the hardship on the people.
All
And
right,
people
then.
are talking of subsidy this, subsidy that. And look, Canada, let me correct one impression. If somebody is thinking that Joe Ajero is speaking for the Labour Party, that is a lie.
Okay.
Joe Ajero is talking on behalf of Nigeria, the downtrodden.
Okay.
People who are bearing the suffering due to the failure of the Soviet administration
right.
to fix the country.
All right,
And somebody is trying to turn it.
All right, Obed, thank you.
Nothing of political coloration, I must tell you.
All right, thank you for your time. I've got Ugo from NTA. Ugo, welcome.
Thank you, Canada. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Okay, so I don't know, Labour Party coming up to say I don't know where
it's not Labour Party. It's Labour Union. Labour Union. We're done with the
Labour
elections.
Union, sorry.
All right then.
Where have they been? You're coming to speak up now. Why didn't they speak up over 20 years when the subsidy has been there? See, to me, if we want to fix Nigeria, it's not going to be sudden. It has to be a government that has a system. The system that is running right now, we need another government that will create a system that will work. Because it's not just one person giving all that, because you have a lot of things, a lot of corruption going on in Nigeria.
Okay.
So Labour Party, Labour Union, their demand is, I don't know.
So you prefer the removal of subsidy and allow the structure to find itself. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. See, there's supposed to be a structure before it was removed.
Okay.
But right now it has been removed already. Okay. So the structure is not there. There is nothing Labour Congress will do for us right now. They should just rest and allow things to flow.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
I get you now. All right, thank you very much. I've got Braid calling from Oginigba. Braid, good evening to you.
Thank you very
Braid, good evening to you.
Yeah, Kalada, good evening.
All right, welcome.
Yes, for me, there is no palliative that the government will give that can cushion this effect right now. Because when you look at palliative during COVID-19, there is a palliative, but does it trickle down to the people? The answer is no. It was stuck in somebody's way.
Break. Let me pause you. Break. Let me pause you now. Minimum wage increment will surely reach the people. I mean, it's for the people, right? At least the people who are working. Tax holiday will surely reach the people, at least for the people who are working yet again. So, when we say palliative, yes, there is that mentality that is just about sharing tubers of yam or bags of rice or bag or basin of gari. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about palliatives in the real sense. What kind of measures can we put in place, to cushion the effect of subsidy? And then when you look at it, can you say TUC have made a germane demand?
Yeah, if you look at the demand the TUC is making, for me, it's even one-sided. Because right now, Canada, if you look at the population of Nigeria today, they are having about 200 million of people. And as I speak with you, it's less than 10, let's say, about 30 million you will have in the civil service. If not even, even if it's not, I don't think it's even up to that. And you will agree with me, the low income end are those keke drivers, taxi drivers, Okada drivers. Those people, you will have about 130 million of people. And this minimum wage, does it get to those people? So that is what we should be able to ask. The truth is that if the refineries, Muslim refineries will be built, and also our steel industries will be built, I think it's pushing the effect of the people. Those people that are not working, those low-income earners, the SMEs, I think if we go into that, it will really help than looking at the minimum wage. The minimum wage, the labor can agitate for it. But who is going to agitate for those people? As I speak with you, Canada. So for me, the government should be able to look at these issues and handle it squarely so that it will trickle down to everybody. Canada, within early June, we are going to have about 700 and something billion as subsidy. And where does that money is going to? Right now that the NNPC has also changed their price.
Thank you.
Who is in charge of that money?
Yet again, it's a budget. The money has not been released, but thank you very much. I've got Okunku from Rumokuta. Welcome.
Matthew, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
TUC talks of a minimum wage for the civil servants.
For workers, private sector would also have to pay
millions.
Oh, okay, all right.
That are not civil servants.
Okay.
Well, are they to suffer and die? They should be talking of something for general interest, or something for group interest. There are millions of Nigerian citizens that are not civil servants.
All right.
Then how will they survive? Since they are talking only of a minimum wage for the Nigerian workers.
All right.
Then those that don't work, the wheelbarrow pushers, the physically challenged persons, the persons with disabilities. It's unfortunate.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much.
Very unfortunate.
I've got Richard from Elikaya. Richard, good evening to you.
Good evening, Canada.
Yeah, good evening to you. Welcome.
Yeah, regarding your question about the demand of the NLC trade union on increase in minimum wage, I think there is a present reality. And the present reality is that what the workers are earning now, more especially the low cadet of workers, is nothing to write home about.
Okay.
It doesn't take care of one person in 2 weeks, not to talk of a man that has family. So the demand for increasing minimum wage is not a bad one. It is a way of cushioning or, reducing the suffering of workers in the state and in the nation. But that does not also suggest that the minimum wage should not be, the increase in minimum wage should not be a reason why the writing or the subsidy removal should not be reversed, or we should not insist that the price of petrol products should come back to normal.
Okay.
But in meeting up with the present reality in the country, not the one that the removal of fuel subsidy brought to us, but what the country was before the introduction of the removal of fuel subsidy. Workers need their salaries to be increased. You know that the 30 or 30-something thousand naira minimum wage does not help anybody. Even a single man with that family, 30 or 30-something thousand cannot help the person. Before now, not to talk of now that we're having a crisis.
So Richard,
it wasn't a bad thing. In fact, it is a way to at least.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Our house encourage workers, so that people will be willing to work with their minds. All
right, thank you very much, Richard. I've got Christian from mile 3. Christian, greetings to you. Quickly, please.
Canada, God bless you.
All right, welcome.
For me, as a Christian I am, before subsidy or palliative, those who support this subsidy nowadays for equity and justice should apologize to past President Goodluck Jonathan. I hold it there. They should render apology to that young man.
All right.
Secondly, I have seen palliative before. And everybody knows where the palliative started and where it ends. COVID-19 is a typical example. Even the palliative today, somewhere else that's it there. Canada, I want to ask, that $800 million, do they succeed in borrowing that money? If they did, how about the money?
Okay. All right, then.
Subsidy. Let's ask the past Ministry of Oil. Understand me, Muhammad Buhari and Mane Kyari. They should account. This position, that Kyari should be sacked.
All right, then. All right, then. Thank you very much, Christian. I've got another Christian, and he's calling from OG. Christian, good evening to you.
Yeah, Kalada, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Yes. I was thinking that if Lady Buhari leaves it, that the problem in Nigeria will be suspended. Because people keep saying, Buhari is a problem, he has got so much problems to Nigeria and all that. Well, that's by the way. Kalada, cast your back mind when Nigeria, all our refinery were working, everything was in place. There were still issues now. Naturally in life, there are challenges. But what are we not looking at? Talking about increasing workers' salary. The one they have done is only federal government that is able to pay.
All right.
Today we have also people complaining they need increment. And when they go, federal government will tell them there is no money.
All right.
You will read in the news that prisoners don't have even time to take this prisoner support. There are so many demands. And I was asking somebody, how many liters of fuel do we consume a day? Assuming we consume like 5 million liters. And look at the price now. Federal government has been paying almost like 360 naira per liter we consume every day. Times it by 5 million. Meaning that we'll be spending just about 1.something billion or above that.
Yeah, we spend around 1.something billion
every day.
Yeah. No, not every day. Now, we spend about 1.
Is it not better that if federal government is able to remove this money, and we now hold them accountable to see how they can channel this money on other areas of life, like light, providing light, saying that, they should not fix the refineries. As if there was not all refineries in Nigeria was working and life was still not in Eldorado. And I mean, for heaven's sake, federal government, for me, they would have sold that refinery because look at those oil marketers. If they think there's so much money in that oil business, why can't they just sell like 50 of them and build a refinery? Is there anything wrong with it?
All right.
Must it be federal government that will build the refinery?
Christian, so I've got to let you go now.
Let us put it behind us.
All right, then.
If you leave it, it will kill us. If we remove it, it is still a problem for. But I think the problem of removing it is for some time. What we should be thinking about, holding government accountable for the proper usage of the money that we earn from removing subsidies.
All right, then.
That should be our focus.
All right. Thank you very much, Christian. I've got to let you go now. The message I was trying to read earlier, Kala, that TUC are very selfish. How many of them are they compared to the total members of the nation? We are our own problems in this country. TUC should go and sit down if they cannot think. Sonny Ozwoba. All right, thank you very much. Let's see. This one says, good afternoon. I'm Nestle from Port Harcourt. It is sad that our leaders approach issues from wrong side. Why not fix the refineries, make them work, don't increase salaries, don't give palliatives? Nigerians will survive. All right. Let's see now. I have so many messages here now. Is it removal of petrol subsidy or removal of fuel subsidy? AGO, kerosene and aviation fuel subsidies have been removed long ago. What was remaining was petrol, which has now been removed. EGA. All right, thank you. Quick commercial break coming up.
Nigeria Info. Colors. They add meaning to our lives.